let's begin with this, man. What was my mind thinking? My mind was thinking about sex. Always. Okay, so what happens when you're addicted to pornography is any, and I mean any, woman becomes sexual. So, you know, when I first started using pornography, dude, I was in school, brother. When you're in school, you don't really have too much to do other than to, you know, think about shit and sexually fantasize. So sexual fantasies galore. So many sexual fantasies, dude. You know, when you go and speak with the careers lady in her office, you're thinking, dude, I think she's going to give me a hand job. I'm dead serious. I think she's going to give me a hand job. Did she? No, she didn't. But do you think that? Yes. Okay. The same thing with the hot teacher, the one who you know, everyone checks out, everyone who knows hot. And she knows she's hot. So she kind of, there's a bit of tension between you. And you think, is she going to fuck me? Yeah, that's what you think. Does she fuck you? No, she doesn't. But in your head, how many thousands of times has she fucked you? Maybe 3,000, 4,000, you know? And then obviously just teachers in general, female teachers. I mean, obviously if you're female, you have it for male teachers. But for female teachers, oh my God, dude. I mean, I even fantasized about the less attractive ones because my mind was so in a weird place, dude. It was so twisted. Yeah, man, I would think about some weird shit. Pornography, it deludes your mind so much that you actually think that they would fuck you. You actually think you have a shot. You actually think that when it's just you and them in the office, or maybe it's just, you know, it's just you and the female teacher at the end of class. No one's around. Oh, people have got last person out the door. What's the time? Or maybe it's a break, or maybe it's the end of the day. Is it going to happen? Is she going to reach over and start joking? No, dude. But your mind, you'll think that, right? And what it really is it's the fantasy element that will intrigue you and lure you in the most. That's what's most exciting. That's what's most sexy. That fantasy, yeah? You might be at the back of the class just fantasizing about, I mean, fucking your teacher, obviously. But the thing is, here's another thing. It's not just teachers. It might be a female physio. I remember one time I was lying on one of those physio beds that kind of like raised up and they're kind of soft and maybe blue. I was lying on one of those. And I remember at the time I was young, it was like 14 or something. And my mind was so freaking sexualized, hypersexualized, that I would think, oh, when's it going to happen? Hopefully my mum can leave, because my mum was there at the time. Hopefully my mum will leave the room and it will just be me and her. And then she'll, you know, obviously she's going to start joking me off, right? And because you're fantasizing so much, because your mind is so deluded, sometimes it will actually get to a point where you're like, oh crap, back up. It's having consequences. I'm getting a boner. Oh no, right? For example, when I was with this female physio, I was lying down on this bed, and she was massaging my knee because I had a knee problem at the time. And I was thinking to myself like, oh crap, no wait, okay, don't get a boner. Don't get a boner. Don't get a boner. Ironically, I'm not sure I would have even been able to get a boner because of the amount of sexual stimulation that I needed to have to, you know, even get a hard on. I would have needed to watch, you know, just some really good quality videos. And it's interesting as well because I don't know if you've ever had this where the video is playing, but if you like zone out, especially if you're really, really addicted, if you zone out, it's not even really that attractive. You have to actually focus in on the video for it to work. And you're right. Like I had these times where I was like, damn, I'm watching this video, this hardcore video, you know, years ago now. And I'm like, dude, it's so crazy that I need to place my attention on the video and get immersed and fantasize in the fantasy for it to actually work. This is where I started to learn, like, wow, my mind is actually really powerful. And where I place my attention is also really powerful. Speaking of attention, another thing you'll be paying attention to or checking out is just any woman anywhere, ever, on adverts, on billboards, on TV, but really it's on the street. You'll sexually project so much. And yeah, it's super lustful, it's super low consciousness, but it's what happens when you're in the fog of a porn addiction. You will just project like a motherfucker onto everyone. And again, like the teacher thing, dude, you will walk past women and you'll actually think that she is going to somehow fuck you. You actually think that. You actually believe that. The amount of times I walked past an attractive woman, and sometimes even not that of an attractive woman, and I would think, well, we're going to fuck. When? And it's not just that, it's when and where. In the bush? Behind the swing set? Well, where is this going to happen? Logistically, if you're a dude especially, you know, your logical mind will come in. How can I make this happen? What time is it? How can we, is my house free? My friend's spare room? Nah, he'll be near. He'll be able to hear it. You will think all kinds of ridiculous fucking bullshit, man. You will think of all, and you'll think it's actually possible, man. You'll actually believe it. This is how deluded your mind gets. This is how asleep you become. Another thing you'll do as a PMO addict is you'll actually fantasize about women who aren't even that attractive, or who you actually kind of find like unattractive, right? You'll get a weird kind of high off of thinking about having sex with these people. And dude, it could be anyone. And you kind of think, oh no, they would fuck me. Yeah, they would fuck me. Because they would fuck me, we can get away with it. Right, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to have to get out of there as soon as I nut. How am I going to do this, yeah? So again, this is how fucking ridiculous it gets. You will start to like plan out like, if I make this happen, how can I like make sure no one sees? How can I do this and it just be in and out? As soon as I nut, dude, I'm out of there. Yeah, that's what you'll think. Because the thing is, when you do actually sexually fantasize about these unattractive people and then you ejaculate and release, you are hit with this clarity, this post-nut clarity, and you realize, oh my God, you do not want to be doing that. Oh my God, why did I even think that? Oh my God, I feel so ashamed. Just like how you feel if you've ever relapsed, you just have this gross feeling like, man, I actually don't want that. Like, why did I even fucking think that? Oh God. And you realize you just wanted to get off on it, but you don't actually want that, right? And if you were to actually do it, because sometimes I personally never really was into this, but if you actually go ahead with something like this, you'll realize, oh fuck, it's really not the answer, fuck me. Another thing you'll do is you will find videos that look like someone you actually know in real life. And again, it might not always be the attractive person that you know in real life. It might be someone who you kind of, you don't really find them that attractive, but you have a sexual fantasy about. Yeah. What I would do is I would find videos that really look like and match up with the appearance of someone that I know. It could be like a school gym teacher. It could be that kind of quirky looking girl who you kind of, would, right? I'm not going to bullshit here, man. I'm going to tell you what's up, because here's the thing. People do this. People are doing this right now. Maybe you do this. Maybe you used to do this. I used to do this. And looking back at it retrospectively, I have no shame about it. I can speak about it openly and maturely because, dude, human nature is fucked up, okay? And when you add in pornography into the mix, you're just some twisted son of a bitch. And that, that's not like a judgment. Like, that's just how it is. I would call myself that back then. I was really like dark and twisted and unconscious and just basically deluded as a motherfucker, okay? I would sexually fantasize about freaking every woman I saw, and I would actually genuinely think that it was going to happen. And that is the best bit, really. It's the fact that you actually think it's going to happen. You actually really, really think it's going to happen, and you're kind of prepared for it. You're kind of excited for it. I remember times when it would happen even before I really had started physically developing too much. So I was like, I want it to happen, but I hope she doesn't touch my dick because my dick isn't that big yet. And what's really sad about all of this is when you actually come to have sex, it's so far removed and so different from what you've been taking in content-wise that you're a bit underwhelmed. Maybe a bit pissed off as well. You're like, oh, fuck, man, I was expecting this to be really good. Because you're so used to that psychological fantasy. You're so used to it being like, maybe a bit taboo or maybe a bit weird. Because even if you're into really just bland, vanilla, standard pornography, standard sex, nothing kind of too weird per se, you'll still be saddened by the fact that this fantasy is not happening for you. Yeah, it's gone. And oftentimes you're met with the reality. We could draw that distinction there between fantasy and reality. The reality is that now you're this dude with this limp dick and this anxious mind. That's how I was. I needed to change myself to become someone who can actually use his dick and have sex and be confident. Because you don't want to be addicted to pornography. You don't want to be in your head. You don't want to be fantasizing about everyone. You don't actually want to be fantasizing about fucking anyone, because you want to be with your partner, totally with them, present. You want to be able to look them in the eye and hold that for hours and just be absolutely in love with them. You want to be able to see God in them. That is what you want. You don't want any of this bullshit pornographic fantasy stuff. You want to get grounded. You want to have a nice, healthy, full feeling dick. You want to have a clear mind. You want to have nice, strong desire, but desire that you can control. Yeah. And then you want to be able to be present. And then you want to be able to be and sexually perform. That's what you want. You don't want any of this PMO bullshit, which is why we started this channel with so many videos on NoFap retention, NoFap retention, NoFap retention. Why? Because it creates a platform for a good life. Retention is slightly different in that you don't have to retain to have a phenomenal life. Will it really enhance things for you? Yeah. But really, you just need to quit pornography. That's the thing you need to do. And if you haven't quit pornography and you fucking want to, and you don't know what to do, dude, I'll be honest, it's really rare to have come across someone like myself. I don't mean that in like an egotistical way. I mean genuinely, how many people do you know who actually wanted to quit pornography and then did, and then didn't look back? How many people? Fucking no one. I look around these days, I try and meet people, I speak to them. Dude, people are addicted to pornography. If you want me to help you with this, I can. I've helped many, many people with this. I can literally walk side by side with you, coaching, mentoring, teaching, doing everything I can essentially to help you create the transformation. Yeah, because you don't just quit. That doesn't work. I tried to quit many, many times. Spent about 8, 9, 10 years trying to just quit. It doesn't fucking work. You have to transform. And to do that, you can't just do it on your own. You have to have someone there, in my experience at least, helping you change. Yeah, because it's change that really does it. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, check out the link in the description. Book a free call with me. Speak with me. See what's possible. Because you don't want to be fucking stuck in these fantasies, man. You don't want to be thinking about this bullshit. What you want is you want a clear mind, you want a hard dick, and you want to live your life and enjoy yourself, yeah? So consider that if it would make a difference for you. I hope you've enjoyed this one. My friend, take care. Lots of love. And as always, peace.